Welcome back to the Talk of Louisville. I'm Mike Mulroney.
I'm Kellye Duckworth.
Kellye, we're going to talk about real estate today.
Can't wait.
You got any real estate knowledge?
No. And I honestly don't ever want to move again.
Really?
No.
Well, she doesn't want to hear that. So she's hoping you can say.
But I understand.
Yeah.
We got our good friend Monica Perkins in today. How are you doing, Monica?
I'm great. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, I have to ask this question, and I hate to put you on the spot.
No.
But I've known for a long time where you stood on this, but I got to ask, U of K or U of L?
Oh, it's UK.
You married a U of L fan, and I see you at U of A games all the time. So,
And I will wear black and red.
Okay.
Okay.
That breaks my heart a little bit, but I can.
I blend in, but I have to say the best games are when I can wear Kentucky blue to the U of L game.
Well, I hated to put you on the spot, but I had to do it because I know you married Joseph. He was a big U of L fan, and you dabbled a little bit.
Yeah, I have dabbled.
Yeah,
and I have borrowed a couple U of L shirts, wore those, and then
have you bought one yet?
I cringed.
Have you bought one yet?
No. I will wear red and black. And I'm happy to see U of L win. I graduated from U of L.
I was gonna say,
me too.
I made the switch. I was Kentucky and then graduated from U of L. I was like,
you made the switch?
I had to. I was like, I can't cheer against my school.
I don't think my dad could have handled it if I had made the switch.
Yeah.
I would go to U of L wearing my U of K stuff is what I would do. And nobody bothered me back then. Nowadays, you might get lynched because people are so sensitive.
Honestly, my niece swears that her professor failed her because she wore a Kentucky sweatshirt.
Really?
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Now, when I was going, I wasn't really, I guess, probably into college gear, so that wasn't really an issue.
Did you wear your PRP stuff?
I don't think I did.
I don't know. I went to PRP. Obviously, all of us did, red and black. But the only red shirt I have I can think off the top of my head is when the Miracle League came in, and I wear that shirt all the time. It's an awesome organization, but I think it's the only red shirt I have.
You don't have any WKU stuff?
I think it's black with red writing on it. I think what I have. I don't know.
So I have a vintage red Cancer Sucks t-shirt.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
The blue. Yeah, so I would wear because it was red and black.
Speaking of vintage, a lot of people don't know. Monica was
that I'm vintage.
One of the first.
I was going to say both of you all are
vintage. We're both vintage. I looked up senior citizen the other day, and it said you're eligible for discounts at 50 to 55, and that hurt a little bit.
Well,
they really did.
So I have not taken advantage.
I haven't either. I forgot about it.
I'm
going to start asking.
I don't know. Do I want to ask for that discount or do I want to just be in denial that I'm eligible?
Well, she pushes me. She thinks it's funny, but she's going to be there one day.
Funny.
So,
you know what I used to think was really funny when my mom couldn't read something, and I would hold from here to here. I would hold a menu for her.
I
tease her.
I would do the same.
And I swear to you, at 40, which was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
My eyes just changed. I couldn't see tiny
letters. My aunt said she literally woke up on her 40th birthday and thought she'd had a stroke because she couldn't see.
Yes, it was.
She's like, I went blind.
It was 40.
That's crazy.
Actually, so you guys know that I made a transition from dental assisting to real estate. Mm-hmm. I was a dental assistant, and I had just finished a root canal. I'm, taking the all the supplies back to the cleaning area, and with the root canal files, you can use them a couple times, and then they're sterilized, all the good things. But you read the number on it, you write it down, so we know how often those files were used. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the number wore off of this, and then I was like. Oh my gosh, there's no number in this one either.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, I've never seen anything like this happen before. Like the numbers are gone.
Off of all of these.
Well, just for me.
Yeah.
Just for my 40-year-old eyes.
Oh, no.
One of the other girls, she comes in and goes, no, it's right here. Like she could plainly see it. I was so embarrassed.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like, it happened overnight.
Yeah.
I was plugging in a TV or doing something on a TV behind the counter, and I couldn't see it. And I kept doing this and kept thinking, what is wrong? Is the light off? And all of a sudden, my eye just went like that. I can see fine. It's just up close. I can't see anything.
No. And when I have my contacts, it's so weird.
Yeah.
When I have my contacts out, I can take my glasses off and be able to see. But if I have my contacts in, I have to wear the cheaters.
Yeah. You think contacts would help you keep from using
At
the
times. Well, I tried the monovision. It made me nauseous. So some people can do that and some people can't.
No,
I can't do that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I was sick at my stomach all the time.
Well, and they told me that might happen.
Yeah.
So then I was like, is it because they told me? Or is it just because it really is messing with me?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
You have so much to look forward to.
Yeah, I hear that.
She's not even 30 yet.
Oh my gosh, such a baby.
I know.
Well, let's talk real estate. So we talked about spinning and bringing back the Talk of Louisville. We took a little bit of a break and we started advertising to start booking shows. And you said in real estate, there are loans out there for people that may not be qualified historically. So is there something going on now for like single women and you talked about legal immigrants possibly being able to get more loans now?
So what I see is that yes, there's programs out there. There's loans out there for just about everybody, depending on your credit score, your debt to income ratio. But what I see are people who are in situations in their lives where they don't think they're qualified or they don't think they'll ever be qualified. And the first group of people I think about are single parents. Mm-hmm. And most often it's single moms that I work with, but I've worked with a couple single dads too. These are just people who are grinding in life. You know how it is. You get up, you take care of the kids, you get to work, you get them back home from school, and you just don't realize that there are people out there that can help you and that can make it easy for you. And not that it's easy by, so to speak, but we can make it easier for you, relieve some stress. My goal is to see people start reaching out. The first thing to do is to reach out to a realtor. Tell them your situation. Don't be embarrassed about your situation. You'd be surprised how many people don't have savings, no matter what economic, stature they're in. So, and maybe you had a bankruptcy, maybe you had a home that went into foreclosure. Those are not things to be embarrassed about. Those are things that we can work with.
So just if you had those things happen before, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll never be able to buy another home.
Exactly. And with some single parents, they never had a home that they owned. Some single parents are divorced. And when they went through the first process, they went through it with their spouse and they don't see themselves as being worthy or being able to do that by themselves. And they absolutely can.
Yeah, homeownership is critical. You see people talking about, what is it? I've just drew a complete blank. Like we're running out of inventory and we need more homes. Affordable housing. To me, affordable housing is the biggest oxymoron out there because housing it's expensive. Mm-hmm. But if we keep pushing affordable housing and forcing people into rental units, people aren't going to build any type of long-term wealth.
No.
And we got to figure out a way to let people or help people buy property versus renting's good for a time. But if you want to build any type of wealth, any type of legacy that you might be able to pass down to your kids or your family, home ownership is a huge key in that.
It is huge. And it's one of the main ways to grow generational wealth and to show your children that there are other options. And when you get into a home, you're giving your families a huge stability. And you're becoming part of a community. And that, I think that gives people a sense of ownership and worth. Yeah. You said something and now I'm trying to remember what it was. I was going to talk on
the affordable housing.
The affordable housing. Yeah. That is so different than when I started 10 years ago.
Really?
I used to be able to help people buy homes at $100,000 in our area here in the South End, $120,000. That is very far and few between now. You just don't see it.
What's the medium? What's the lowest price point? It's not 120 anymore.
Oh, it's no. And most of the time,
probably 180.
I was going to say minimum. 200. I feel like minimum. 3-bed, 1-bath is like 200, 220.
Yeah, I'm seeing most homes that we see are at least in the 200s. You're going to see some at 180. I helped a family move recently, and we got a nice little home for them at $150,000, but it's Garfield, Kentucky.
I don't even know where that's at.
I had never heard of Garfield.
Wait, that's down there by the lake. I feel like
it's near, not too far from E-Town.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this family, They just had a new baby, just an adorable family. Now, will they stay in Garfield? I don't know. But that's where they're starting their home ownership. And it really is straight down Dixie, you know. I have some, actually a single mom that we were looking, and she's up to 180. That's her price point. And it does make it a little bit more difficult. I suggest that everybody gets an inspection, but that's where inspections come into play, because I don't want to see a single mom buy a home just because it's in her price point and it's cute. You know, it got paint and new floors, but that's not what we're looking at. Yeah, I like that, you know, it's a freshly painted home, but we're going to get that inspection, and we're going to make sure crawl space, structure, all the safety issues are taken care of.
Yeah, I've got a little background in real estate, and
yes, you do.
I can do I kind of do quite a bit of stuff, but sometimes I don't have time to do it anymore. But I had a friend that was looking to buy a house, and the realtor kept pushing the house. Come to find out, the reason why they were pushing it is they found the walls were soft, had mold behind it, water damage, spiders everywhere, and they kept pushing this house on them. So you think, if it's a single mom, a young family that is just starting out, and they buy a house and later that hits them, they can't afford to get out of that.
And what's
they
the
can't afford to fix it.
They just don't have the money to do an inspection, or what's the reasoning people would opt out?
Well, so some people opt out because they don't want to pay for the inspection, but
which is $400 or
$500 inspection could save you tens of thousands of dollars.
Save you from bankruptcy.
I saw a family refuse an inspection on a brand new home. And
because you would think that
you know,
there's a lot of backlight builders now.
I told them, I said, you know, I highly suggest that you get the inspection, but it is, you know, up to you. Right. Brand new home. There were so many problems. Even like the HVAC was wired backwards or something. I can't remember. It was even the HVAC. There was something weird with it. Yeah. That is one thing. We do have loans that offer closing cost inside the loan, and that can raise your monthly payment up to like $80 to $100 for about 5 or 6 years. But there is out-of-pocket expense. The inspection is going to be $400 to $500. If you want to get a radon inspection, you're adding a couple $100 more. Appraisals are around $600, and sometimes those can be lumped into the closing cost at the end, but sometimes those have to be paid.
So you need about $1,200 minimum on an average size home. Yes,
and then we are looking at how much you're going to put down as your earnest money deposit. If it's a home under $200,000, typically I'll write in $500. A lot of people don't realize that earnest money deposit is not required. It is in that contract to show that you have interest. But actually, the couple that I talked about that moved to Garfield, we put in 0 on the earnest money deposit, and the seller accepted the contract. Wow. But yeah, you're looking at needing about $1,200 to $2,000 out of pocket. And then we may be able to get you help with your closing costs and down payment.
So is there government programs out there to help people, first-time home buyers, single parents, people that have come into this country looking for a better life? Is there down payment assistant programs that the government's providing for people that somebody might be able to look into?
Yeah, and I misspoke. I said assistance with closing costs. The assistance that we get with closing costs is typically if we ask the seller to pay it and they agree. The loan assistance would be for down payment. It's a down payment assistance program, and that's what you can pay back in 5 to 6 years, typically about $80 to $100 added to that mortgage. So you can get a house without having a down payment.
But you have to pay the down payment back?
You pay it back.
That's interesting, because years ago, you had to show where your down payment money come from. So if your mom and dad gave you $5,000, you had to show that they gave it to you as a gift.
You still do, yes.
So with the down payment assistance, you're saying that they have to pay that money back?
So down payment assistance comes from a KHC program. Okay. It's a government program.
Yeah. And but they have to pay it back. That's interesting, because before you couldn't get a loan if the down payment was borrowed. So it sounds like,
but this is built in, and not everybody qualifies for it.
Yeah.
And it does raise your mortgage a bit. Yeah. But it's within the mortgage
But
system.
there's help. You can walk somebody through that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. You said you were a dental assistant. We should have talked about this earlier. What made you switch? Like,
that's a big
I don't want to say later in life and be rude to you guys, but I mean, I feel like the dental field's one career, and then you make a huge switch to real estate.
So I call them several chapters in my life. And sometimes I think back and I'm like, that's just weird that was part of my life back then.
How many more chapters do we have? I guess
I'm hoping for more chapters. I mean, I would like to have lots of chapters.
That was a life change. This was a chapter in your life.
It was a huge life change. So back, I don't remember if we were talking about this on air or not. I think we were. Graduated from U of L. And I was a real estate paralegal. And I did that for about 8 years. And I worked in, I started at Humana, and this is ancient, like this is vintage talk. This is when Humana owned hundreds of hospitals all over the country and medical office buildings. So I was the real estate paralegal. I learned real estate at Humana. We did multi-million-dollar sales of hospitals. In the snow, I got to fly in the corporate jet. It was horrible. But now I'm like, I flew in the corporate jet, but we flew to West Virginia for this sale of like 10 hospitals. And I was very involved in the paperwork and the closing documents and all that. Where Myers is, I love this. So when I worked at Brown, Todd and Hayburn, a group of people that we represented bought all those little homes that used to sit up on that hill. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
There were all these little homes that used to sit up on the hill where Myers is. And so, we're all from the South End.
Yeah.
We're sitting in this boardroom at this huge table, all these attorneys, people talking about the purchase of these homes, working with the clients. We've got the docs we're working on. And one of the attorneys said, we should go on a field trip to PRP.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, that's where I drive from every day. Yeah. But it was just kind of like.
They kick you out of the office at
one
that
of
point.
those things where people are like, oh, we're going to a field trip to the South End.
Yeah.
It's funny when you live in the South End and you go outside the South End and you hear things like that. Mm-hmm. But being part of that, even though, it's the paperwork, that was really cool to see that transformation here in our area.
I didn't know that you did that once before.
Yeah.
That was chapter 1.
That was chapter 1. And when I became a mom, I went part-time, and then I actually was working from home a little bit, but it still was really demanding. And I really just wanted to focus on Kelsey, my firstborn. So I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And then I had Lindsay. And then we fostered as well and adopted. So I was very just active then in church at St. Lawrence and the girls' school and all their activities. And, it was a great time in my life. And I still, I did little part-time jobs. Like I was a preschool teacher for a few years at Chapel Hill when my girls were there. I was a substitute teacher because I would get a little bit bored. And so, I would still have something here and there that was part-time. And as the girls got older, I decided it was time to go back to work. And I was getting my dental work done. I had all those old amalgam fillings, so silver fillings, and I was getting all of those replaced. Mm-hmm. And the dental assistants there just seemed to be like really loving life.
Yeah.
At least they were when they were next to me in the chair.
A fun job, didn't it?
Yeah. So I started talking to them about it, and that's when I became a dental assistant.
Wow.
And I did that for about 8 years. It started, it's physically demanding. And and sometimes with some of the, people that you work with, it can be kind of emotional too, but it was becoming very physically demanding. I was getting burnt out.
Couldn't see
those numbers on the files anymore.
You can imagine how dirty some people's mouths are either.
That is one job I would never want to do. I'm no desire.
See somebody roll up, you're like,
oh my gosh. And the people that we would help that, did have poor hygiene and just didn't, some people just aren't educated,
right.
One boy in particular, he wanted to go into the Navy, and in his exam, for getting into the Navy, his oral hygiene was very poor, and they wouldn't let him get in until he got his stuff together. Well, and to see him be able to do that.
I know we're taking a turn and talking about teeth now, but
I know we're going.
Poor teeth and poor oral hygiene, it could kill you. I mean, that if you get an infection and it travels to your heart, I did not know that until my dad obviously gets older. But yeah, we
had a guy that had that problem.
That's scary.
It might be the same. Well, I do know somebody that happened to.
Yeah,
and he was a very big, strong man, and he, some people have. And I don't want to insult people by saying irrational fear of dentists, because I know there's some out there that cause fear. Mm-hmm. I worked with some incredible dentists, and they were assistants who help people not be so fearful to overcome it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he let that infection go, and he ended up needing a heart transplant in a wheelchair. When he used to ride Harleys, and then he did pass away. And it's just awful to think, because this happens in third world countries all the time. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't happen here.
Yeah.
So
for sure. So have you sold any previous dental clients or dentist houses?
I have worked with people that I used to work with.
Hey, I had you in a chair. I'm selling you a house now.
None of my dentists have called yet.
Really? Yeah. Well, we knew where you worked, and I know they probably make enough money to buy a house. So hopefully one day they'll call you.
For sure. Actually, one of the single moms that I think about that was talking about earlier, she is in the office at one of the dental offices I worked with.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
yeah.
So what are rates right now? Do you see them going down?
It's
probably a banker question, but I'm just curious.
A lender question, but there is some speculation that they'll trickle down a little bit more. Right. We are not probably, I'm going to say never say never. We're not going to see 2s and 3s again. The average in our area right now is right about 6.2 for a 30-year loan.
Yeah.
And then for a 15-year, about 5.5. Yeah. And those are averages, so don't hold me to that. It varies based on your credit score, your debt to income ratio. But do you remember what the interest rate was?
I was getting ready to say,
first
I think my parents said it was like 10 or 15%.
Yeah, my first in the 90s was about 8%. Or no, actually 9, because when I got 7, I thought I hit the lottery.
Yeah.
I really did.
So our home off of on Bridwell was 11%. Wow. And then I remember when we refinanced to 7%, we were just like, woohoo.
Yeah, I thought 7 was the best.
Oh my gosh. We were all excited about that.
Yeah.
That 2 and 3 interest rate, people loved it. People we were discussing earlier, people who have that interest rate right now
are never going to move.
Are probably never going to move. And if they are, there's a reason. Mm-hmm. Like they have to upsize or they have to downsize for some reason. A lot of people are holding on to that interest rate, and I don't blame them because it affects
3.5%.
Yeah,
that's huge. Mm-hmm. You go from 3.5 now to the 6 now. That's, depending on the house, that could be a couple $100 or up to $1,000 difference per month.
It makes a huge difference on the house you can buy. Yeah. It does.
Yeah, for sure. People are going out buying these massive houses at 3.5%, and they did well, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But when you get cheap interest rates, you're also paying more for the property, and you're selling yours for a little more. So I don't know. I think eventually it just kind of ends up in a wash. But a better interest rate is always great.
It looks like you're getting a better deal. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, like with the homes that were highly desirable, if you're looking at a 2 or 3 interest rate, and more people can get into that home, then you're having all these multiple offer situations, and then you're paying more for the house, possibly.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
My first house, I paid $52,000 for it. It was over behind AutoZone. can't think of the name of Gerald Avenue. So it was whatever that bar used to be in AutoZone on Dixie Highway.
Yeah.
Gopher area. Yeah. Yeah.
So our first house was on Longfield over by Churchill Downs. And I think we paid about $30,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we would have kept that.
Yeah,
and
it'd be
had
great
it as a
derby
rental.
house.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, where it was on the backside, and we could see horses out. And then of course, I knew that once I had children moving around and all the things, I wanted to bring them back to the PRPA area and raise them here. So I think the house on Bridwell was around $90,000.
It was a big house.
It is a big house.
Huge house.
Actually, my daughters still live in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's awesome.
It is. I love it.
So somebody calls you, I'm renting. They might have a little bit of bad credit. Their credit might not be too bad. What do you tell them? Is there tips that you would give somebody? Say, look, I'd love to help you, but you need to do this before you're probably going to be eligible. Is that something that you work with somebody on?
Yeah, that's exactly what we would do. I suggest to anybody, even somebody who thinks that it's out of their reach out to a realtor that you know and that you trust. And I would love for you to call me. But there's like 5,000 or more realtors in our area.
Oh my gosh.
Most of them are not full-time realtors, and most of them, there's a lot that just don't even that might sell one home. And then there's full-time realtors, but we all know realtors. Reach out to somebody that you trust, because if they are in the business, if they're working regularly, they have lenders that they trust. Mm-hmm. And I have a couple of lenders that have different programs. So if one lender can't get them pre-approved, or maybe the rates aren't the best, we can always get a second opinion or even a third opinion if you need it. One of my favorite lenders, she is fantastic with first-time home buyers, single parents. She was a single mom when she bought her home. And she is great at guiding people through credit issues.
She's been through it, yeah.
Yeah, she's been through it. Yeah. And, so she's seen both sides. Mm-hmm. So if it's a credit issue or if it's a debt to income ratio issue, she can set you on a plan. And then we can touch base. We don't start a search until you're pre-approved, because let's say we start a search at $300,000 and you're seeing all these homes for $300,000 and you qualify for $250,000.
Yeah.
Well, I promise you, we're going to find the right home for you at $250,000. But if you've already looked at $300,000 homes, the $250,000 home just isn't going to look so special.
Mm-hmm. Well, but
even
also,
though it is,
right.
As far as your time is concerned, if you don't know what they're qualified for, you're wasting a lot of time and gas to show them houses that they're not even going to be able to be in. So
I very rarely will show anybody a home if they're not pre-approved.
Yeah, for sure. I don't blame you.
One of the reasons, and this was more when I used to work leads, it's safety. Like if someone won't get pre-approved and you don't know them,
probably
that's a safety issue.
I think I gave you a zapper one time to take with you, because you're a single woman showing houses. Because you were going somewhere one night, you were leaving an event. I got to go show this house, blah, blah, blah. I was like, where is it? And you told me, I was like, you're going by yourself? And so I think I had a zapper or something, but I was like,
you may have done that. And I carry,
for sure.
I carry now. I'm comfortable.
You drove to the boonies,
yes.
To show houses.
Yeah.
You could be an hour, 2 hours away from your home. And
if I have a friend or family member that wants to see a home, I've gone up to 2 hours away. Now I have partners outside those areas now that I'm very comfortable sharing, their information with my loved ones. Yeah. But if it's a friend or family, I know realtors who stay in specific areas. Right. I don't mind going out of my way, to help a friend or family member, because I want to make sure they're protected. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot. There are a lot of amazing realtors out there, but, just every walk of life, you see things that maybe you were talking about, somebody feeling like they were being pushed into a home. Mm-hmm. I never do that. Yeah. I've heard realtors before that say they don't want to show somebody more than 10 homes. I've shown people homes. Now this is rare, but I probably showed 50 houses to one couple. now by that 50th house, I was like, whew,
Yeah, you got to pick one.
oh, Jesus, let this one be the one for them.
Right.
And in my younger days, and I didn't realize that, I love looking at homes. So we call a realtor, oh, yeah, I'll show it to you. And we had no intentions of buying it. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to see the home.
Yeah.
Not thinking that you're really putting the realtor out on time, money, everything. It never dawned on me.
Yeah.
Never dawned on me. I just wanted to see the home.
And realtors don't get paid until closing day.
That's right. Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't realize.
I didn't think about that. I just wanted to see the house.
And that's just an experience. You didn't mean anything.
Later on, I felt so bad. I was like, God, I've wasted this guy's time over the years, and it felt bad. But I'm sure that happens some.
It can't happen as often any longer. A couple years ago, there was a class action lawsuit against Keller Williams and a couple other larger. It started with Keller and a couple other larger brokerages, and then it spanned out. So it started in California, and my thought is that one of the sellers had to have been an attorney or had a brother or, that was an attorney or something. So these sellers decided that they were not counseled in what commissions were. They didn't, they said they didn't know how much they were going to have to pay in commission, and they didn't know they were going to have to pay a buyer's agent. Well, you don't have to. Commission is negotiable, and it's not set in stone. But this group of people, they won the lawsuit, and it was like big bucks. It was a class action lawsuit, and so the money kind of, 40% went to the attorneys, I'm sure, and then it was distributed. So we had to in the United States, all realtors had to make a change. And if I show you a home, you have to sign a contract first.
Really?
If a realtor shows a home to somebody without a contract being signed and it's found out, it's a $2,000 fine. Wow. For Louisville. Now, all MLSs have different fines, structures. But yeah, so if you want to see a house, now I have to explain to you, you have to see this house. You have to see what you're going to see what my fee is. And this document says that you're paying it. A lot of buyers don't have 3% or whatever it might be, if it's 2%, whatever it is, to pay their buyer's agent. But that all comes out in the negotiations. So when we make an offer on a home, part of that negotiation is a realtor commission. So the good thing about this contract is it has really opened up the conversation. You have to explain it well. You have to make sure your seller understands it and the buyer before you get started. So if people weren't having those conversations before, they're having to do that now.
So it's more of a good faith contract to let them know that if you buy this home, this is the fee that you're going to pay. Mm-hmm. And this is, it lays everything out for them. And it makes sense, really.
And some people, though, people don't want to sign contracts. Some people are just like, well, why do I have to sign this? I'll just call the listing agent. No, the listing agent has to do that too.
Right. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah. You can't skirt around this. Mm-hmm. Typically, if I have a buyer, I make the contract for a year because it could take us 6 months to find a house. I don't want to have to, every 3 months have you re-sign this. Now, I did have one couple that only wanted to sign it for one showing, and we signed up for that one showing, and then afterwards they signed one with me for a year. So you can't just go and see a house now, unless you go to an open house.
Mike, you ruined it.
I know. I
you
really
can go
did.
to those open houses. Yeah.
Do they do open house? They're back to doing open houses. There for a while, nobody was doing open houses because the market was so hot.
Yeah, we're doing open houses.
Well, how long does it take to sell a house now? Before you could list one and sell it in 12 hours. Now is it a month, 2 months, 3 months?
That's a good question.
Bidding wars and everything.
Yeah. There are still some homes that if they're priced right in a very desirable area, you might still see a multiple offer or an offer, very soon.
The norm anymore.
That's not the norm anymore. Homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, and but just even today, I got like 4 notifications of showings on my listings that are happening today. So it's picking up.
So is it a buyer's market now or a seller's market?
I would say it's in my personal opinion, I'm going to say it's closer to being a buyer's market because, homes just are not flying off the shelf.
Ryan's got your website up. I was going to have you pull it up. You got several listings out there?
I do.
Let's take a peek at them, see what you got. See if anybody's looking for anything.
I love looking at houses.
How old is that? You look like your daughter in that picture. Is that you?
That's me, but it's really only 2 years ago.
Actually, you look like Melina we have in here on the
Oh, I do, yeah.
Just like
Isn't that funny?
So
Our
let's
photo's
see what
amazing.
the average house is. So that one's 305, is that right?
3 bed, 1 bath. Or
305,
1 full, 1.5.
Monahan.
Yeah, that one is
240.
That's one of my partner's listings.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can still go ahead and pull it up. Yeah, that one is over in 40220.
I don't even know where that's at.
Um,
But 300 for that. 7-8 years ago, that house, that size would have been, depending on an area, but have been listed for like 140, 150. That's incredible.
I know. I bet you have all the zip codes memorized, don't you?
Not all of them.
No.
Yeah. I have a harder time with that. There are some agents that can just spit them right out. I'm thinking that's around Fern Creek.
Yeah.
Now I have one listed. Oh, there's one of mine, 7502 Norwick Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
This is over
to live on that house.
That is so cute.
Remember Christy Reeser?
That's her.
Is that her mom and dad's house?
And dad's house.
Her mom died. That's hilarious.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time there.
Yes, this is their family home.
Yeah,
yes.
Farrell died last year.
Yes. And you actually have some pretty good neighbors next door too that are from St. Paul.
That house 15 years ago, what's it listed for, Ryan? What's that?
224.
We have it at 224.
That house would have listed 7-8 years ago for probably 160, 150, somewhere around there. That's incredible.
So cute though.
But that's the beauty of real estate though, because you look at the increase in value, and unless somebody can buy a home, you're really hurting your potential for long-term.
What is that on the wall?
Kellye, do you know what that is?
Would you look at that telephone?
Is that a landline?
It's a landline.
So
it's not a rotary though, right?
You know, Christy, obviously, went to PRP together, but I would say when Christy lived in that house, she would have had a 20-foot cord on that phone.
It looks like it's
so
wrapped
she could
around
walk
it
through the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's literally the type of phone that we had on Azalea Lane when I was growing up. Yeah. And it was in the kitchen and the spiral cord. Yeah. So there used to be a half wall that my mom knocked out at some point, but there was a half wall. So I'm going around the half wall, dragging that cord as far as I can down the hallway, and then sitting probably, the further I could get away with if I'm talking to boys, I'm sure. Yeah. So I have that one off of Greenwood, and I also have one on Dorinda. And it's huge.
Is that PRP?
It's PRP as well.
Yeah. I'm just baffled at the values of these homes. That right there proves that if you can afford it to buy
that one's
home.
Nice. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you go get that one? Where's that at?
Well,
New Haven.
That's why it's so important to, there you go.
Okay.
It's cute.
This home has, so I'm a sucker
Gary
for
Miller lived in that area.
The hardwood floors.
Yeah, they're big now.
And I'm so glad that people are wanting to refinish them. Yeah. These hardwood floors are gorgeous. We did a little staging in the photos here.
It's like a Florida color.
Yeah. And that area is, your living room over here, dining area further down.
I feel like you don't see older homes that open.
No, I love this openness.
The layout, yeah.
So you have an area for a large kitchen or dining area.
Look at that.
The kitchen is beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
And then you have your bonus room.
The windows too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I love the windows. I'm also a sucker for natural lighting. Yes. So this is a bonus room. I'm thinking it was probably a garage at some point.
Looks like it.
It has a little fireplace in it. It's nice and cozy.
Yeah. That's a cool looking house. Yeah.
Then they have a 1-car garage. It has an unfinished basement.
Is that wood paneling coming back? That used to be the thing. You don't like the wood paneling?
I'm kind of like,
It's in my basement, but it's painted, so it's not so bad.
Feel.
It does give you a warmth, and this is a updated bathroom here, and then there's a half bath as well.
Nice.
So so I have 2 homes right now in PRP. I just sold a couple recently in PRP.
You got quite a few listings.
I have. Oh, well, and I have the condo in Valley Station.
I like that one.
It's on Hawthorne Point. If you see that one pop up, it has a 2-car garage. It's the attached patio home style, 2-bedroom, over 1,500 square feet. It has a bonus room. And honestly, I cannot believe it hasn't sold because there has been such a demand for patio homes that when somebody gets that one, it needs to be painted. Well, I would think most people would want to get it painted.
Well, isn't that something that you also offer like to your sellers? Hey, these are some things that I would do to maybe, if it hasn't sold in 30 days, maybe let's look at painting it or.
And that's some people are open to that. This one's an estate. I think they're, we've got it priced pretty much for as is. Yes, that is definitely a thing.
I got a question about that before we get to a feel-good story. I want to hear a feel-good story.
Okay.
But how hard is it to walk into somebody's house that you might know and their house is trashed, dog hair everywhere, and they're like, "Oh, this house was so great," and you're like, that's a tough conversation.
It is a tough conversation.
How often does that happen? I mean, so my word to anybody who wants to sell a house. Clean your house up before you have the realtor come in because you're making them have a very difficult conversation with you if there's hair everywhere, if there's toys thrown everywhere. So does that happen much? Well,
and something that I say to people, because people get nervous about their homes, I do say when I come over for the walkthrough, your house doesn't have to be picture perfect because I know that if it's a mom and dad that both work full time and they got kids, they're trying to figure out how they're going to get their house clean for me to come over. And I seriously don't care. Now, there's been a couple of times I've walked in and been like, oh.
If you're a hoarder.
So no, but I don't care. If you've got laundry on your couch, I've got laundry on my couch. I've got dogs. So if you come over unannounced, you're going to see some dog hair.
Yeah.
So I try to make people feel as comfortable as possible. Tell them you do not have to clean, your house like picture perfect for me to come over. And you should hear the relief. Like I can hear it on the phone when people are like, oh, okay. Now we want it picture perfect when we take photos.
Take the pictures. Yeah. My house.
I talk to people about clutter.
Yeah.
And, I have dogs. So if I walk in and I smell dog, like I can say, I'm uncomfortable because you all know me. Now I have gotten a thicker skin and when push comes to shove, I can be aggressive or if I need to be. But I don't like to hurt people's feelings. So, if it's dog smell or whatever, I've got 4 big dogs. One of them's a shepherd. We got hair everywhere. I get it. Or you can smell dog, especially in the summer. I will talk to people about that. Air fresheners are the worst. Do not get a sweet air freshener. It makes me nauseous. I know I could do that to other people, but a sweet air freshener over a dog smell or a musty smell, it just doesn't work. There's cleaner ways to kind of.
But you have those conversations.
But yeah, you have to have.
You might want, like Kellye said, you might want to paint this wall or do something like that.
Yes.
But that is a very difficult conversation, especially if you know the person, telling them that they don't keep a very clean house.
Well, and typically people who are getting ready to sell are looking at pictures too, and so I'll be able to say, look at this home that you really like. Look at the photos, look around your home, kind of compare that a little bit and
ease into
that. Yeah. If there are a lot of appliances or clutter on the, kitchen counters, we're going to talk about that. We don't want everything as clear as possible so that people can see the space and it doesn't look smaller. But yeah, we have to have those conversations.
Which is tough. So it
can be tough.
Don't ever put your realtor in that situation.
Well, and some people's tidiness is different than others too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Am I tidy?
Mike and Jenny. No.
Well, that's what I was going to say. My wife is a clean fanatic, and I love, and we're always cleaning stuff, but I don't care who comes over. She's like, I got to clean this house. I'm like, what is wrong with it? I don't understand, but everybody's.
Now, when I say that, I mean it.
Yeah.
And, because like I said, I'm picking up after the dogs and all the things. My mom is tidy like that too. And when I talk to her, she's like, we have to get this house clean. I'm thinking,
what's wrong with
I already know that house is clean.
Yeah.
All right. We talked a lot about the good stuff, and I want to hear a good feel-good story. Is there anybody that you've helped over the years that obviously has come back to you, but you feel like you've got them in a home, you've really changed their life? Do you have any stories like that?
I do. I've got quite a few. And the one I talked about just a little earlier that comes to mind.
Home ownership can change your life. That's what I want to start with.
Home ownership can
good or bad,
completely change people's lives.
Yeah.
Now, home ownership can be stressful. Responsibilities come up, and you have to be prepared for that too. But when I see people renting homes or apartments and what they're paying now, I'm working with a single mom now who lives in this area. I don't know. I think her rent is $2,200 a month now. Next month, she's going month to month because she's ready to buy, and we haven't found the right home yet. So next month, she's going to be paying $2,500 a month.
For an apartment?
A home in PRP. So it's got a basement. She's got a couple teen boys. She needs space, but $2,500 a month.
She's a single mom.
She's a single mom.
Props to her. I don't know how anybody does one income in this economy.
Crazy.
$2,500 a month.
Just for rent? Yeah, I don't know.
So she'll be saving money monthly once we find her a home.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And for her children to see, she's shared part of her story with me, and got divorced 3 or 4 years ago and has been renting. And for her to show her boys that she was able to continue to, we had to rent the house for a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with renting. Mm-hmm. Like, I've rented home. I had to rent, for a while. It's a stepping stone.
But it's not a long term.
It's a stepping stone. It should be a stepping stone. Yeah. But for her to be able to show her boys, my mom did that. And and she did that for us. And the stability that creates for them, it's just amazing. But one family I think about a lot. When I was new, fresh realtor about 10 years ago, I had a family that came to me that were from Iran, and I think they had been here for about 10 years. And Dad worked at UPS, and Mom was a stay-at-home mom. They had a 7th grade daughter. I think their son was about 4, and then they had an infant. And it was really incredible kind of to get to know them. And that first transaction with them was a little bit more difficult because of language. Mm-hmm. But their 7th grade daughter, she translated, and she was amazing. Awesome. Like, I would have been I was proud of her, but I know her parents are proud of her.
Different topic, but did you ever ask him I don't know when he came to the United States, but as an Iranian, do they own homes in Iran? I was just curious.
I believe they do. Okay. Yes. And there's definitely a status situation. They have status categories, and I don't pretend to understand all of that.
I was just curious.
But yes, but they do. Yes.
So you help them, this young family, get into a home.
Yeah. So they get into a home over here in PRP, a tiny little home near Conway. And they were so excited. Yeah. Perfect for their family. They reached out to me a couple years later, and they're ready to buy a larger home. Upgrade. And they moved over closer to the J-Town area and got them a larger home. And to see, the kids grow, and they're so generous. They always brought me gifts. Aww. And so, like, the next time I saw them, I was like, I took them a Christmas cactus, because the funny thing is they seem to always buy around Christmas too. So they're very generous and very sweet people. And to see the progression in their family and how the kids had grown was so cool. So about a year and a half ago, because they closed last January on their 3rd home, about a year and a half ago, we start talking again. They're ready to buy another home. And they're looking at larger homes. He's very proud, and he should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he came, to America with the American dream that we're we're born here, and we all have. Sometimes we take our American dream for granted, and so we're looking for her houses. They're gorgeous homes. Finally found the home for them. We get their house on the market, and fast forward to closing. And so this was in last January. I'm sitting at the closing table with Muhammad and his family, who they're from Iran, and watching them as they've grown. Their 7th grade daughter now is U of L, and their son's in high school, and their little girl is Precious, and she's in grade school now. And I look across the table at the buyer, a single mom from Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. Who also worked at UPS.
So too young. Yeah.
And she had just had a baby and had a toddler. And I just think about her, and I don't know much about her, how long she'd been in America. But I think 10 to 15 years prior, could she have even imagined owning a home in America?
Probably not.
I
mean, because I'm sure they don't own homes in Africa. I don't know. I have no idea about other countries.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know that, she, there's reasons why people come here. And we talked about this before, there's reasons why people come here legally.
I get it.
And they have the opportunity to purchase homes as well.
Yeah.
And it was just, watching this family grow in America.
Because he has equity from his first house, right, into his second house.
And that's exactly
building more and more.
And that is what generational wealth is all about. Yeah. If you bought the home for $180 and now it's worth $300,000, it's huge. But even if you're buying the homes in the 200s and the 300s now, homes gain equity. And that
we just saw that on your website, because the houses, I know how much they used to be years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt, oh my goodness, I sold her house on Twinkle, but this is about 5 years ago. And they bought that home for about $14,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we sold it for I think it was $180 or $190, and needed a little.
I heard my dad say once when they bought their house, I think they paid $1,700 for it on Daisy off Greenwood Road.
$1,700?
$17,000.
Oh,
I was going to say.
Yeah, so my papaw bought his off Russell.
Yeah.
I think it was $1,700. Yeah, back in the 50s. My previous job, I traveled around the world. I've met some amazing people, and almost every place I've been, people have talked about how great is America. How can I get there? I want to be in America. And so those two people you helped had that opportunity.
Yes. And it's been really, and Muhammad has referred me to many of his family and friends.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just don't think they'd have those opportunities.
That's something that I love about real estate. And it was like that in when I was a dental assistant as well. I love meeting people. When you are growing up in an area or you work or whatever, you see the same people all the time. I have had the opportunity to meet so many different types of people with so many different backgrounds. And I really enjoy that. I love getting to know people. I like listings. Bring me all your listings. Yeah. I like listings. Yeah. But when I get to work, sometimes listings, you're not working with them as a buyer's agent. It might be an estate. They might, I have one couple that are selling their house because they're getting to move into their grandmother's home. So, sometimes if I'm selling a home doesn't mean somebody's buying, or they're buying in another city or state. But when I get to work with buyers, I get to know them. I get to see their kids running, through a house, and them trying to, like, if it's a vacant house, they get to run and just like scream and echo and all the things. And if it's not, then they're like, no, trying to calm them down. People, it's almost like being a counselor too. Like, people will tell you things, but there's a lot of lifetime that brought them to this moment when they're purchasing a home.
Yeah. I'm not a realtor, but anytime I'm gone, I like to talk to Uber drivers, because a large majority of them were foreigners that had been able to come here and start a life.
Yeah.
And to listen to their stories are pretty incredible. So
I love talking to Uber drivers too.
I love talking. Graham, my son was with me last time, and I'm having a ball talking to this guy from Pakistan or something. But I love hearing their stories. They're so cool.
My daughters, I don't know if you're like this or not, but they're like, "Why are you talking to them, Mama?" But I talk to anybody.
It humanizes people.
Well, I don't like the dead silent car rides either.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Especially when I'm the one that's usually forced to sit up front with them. I'm like, well, what are we going to do? Talk?
We were in Vegas a couple months ago, and the Uber driver that picked us up, he was really cool to talk to. And then he warned us that there was going to be an extra fee at the hotel. And Joseph's like, "Oh, no, I already took care of that. Sure enough, there's that extra fee. It was probably almost $500. It was ridiculous. We were so angry, but I was like, he warned us,
Yeah.
And so there was a couple other drivers we had that were really cool to talk to.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
When you work with people who are from somewhere else, you learn a lot more about the world because, everybody doesn't live, like we do. And cultures are very different.
So you've been through a lot of jobs. Last question. Obviously, this is very rewarding for you. It's not just a paycheck. You really seem like you enjoy helping people change their life.
I truly enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, you're a people person anyway.
Yeah, I love people.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes it's hard, just like anything. But when I'm at the closing table and I see people just like thrilled that we finally got there and how it changes people's lives, I love it. Yeah. It's just heartwarming. Yeah. And I truly enjoy what I do.
It's definitely the role for you.
Yeah. I don't see myself, and I made it past my career line seems to be like 8 years, and I'm in my 10th year. So I don't think I'm doing anything else.
Well, any sales takes a while to build a pipeline, to build recurring customers. And Muhammad, you sold him 3 homes already, so they're probably going to come back to you. But it takes, you hear realtors say, "I'm going to be a realtor," and they might make it 6 months. Some might make it 2 years, but they don't make it very long. So you've beat the odds at this point.
It's hard.
Yep.
It is hard. My first 2 years, I worked leads. And so a lot of people that I worked with, I met them, like I said, through a lead. And when I talked about pre-approvals earlier, that's another reason why people have to be pre-approved, because if you're working with somebody you don't know initially, you're safer if they're pre-approved. Not only do you know they're serious, but there's a lender who has all their information in
case you disappear.
Because there are some. I've been in a couple open houses that I felt worried.
Really?
Yeah. It's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Where was I going to go with that? But no, this is very rewarding. I love helping people. I love getting to know families, and especially when they have little ones. Oh my God. I love babies. I love people's babies. Yeah. And puppies. Yeah. And then if we are looking at a house and someone has some kind of pet, that will distract me for a second, but then I'm back on track.
Right.
Oh, look, dog.
Yeah.
Well, Monica, thanks for coming in. What's your website? Monica Perkins?
Monica at Real Estate Go-To.
Monica at realestategoto.com. And she's got several listings there. Oddly enough, I knew one of the houses, so it's kind of funny.
I love that. I love it. Yeah. And it was really, that's what I was going to mention. I started off working leads, and you just have to be willing to hear no.
Yeah.
And kind of develop a thick skin. After about a year and a half, I pretty much quit leads, and I'm now referral based, like past clients, friends and family, and past clients will refer me, or they'll come back. A realtor friend now who has gone back to his prior career, he's sending me his clients. So that is rewarding to have people like trust me, and they know that I'm going to, if I'm working with you, like Kellye, if you're someone my daughter's age, I'm your mom.
Yeah.
Like and I'm not going to mom you.
I said I never want to go house shopping again.
Everybody adopts you.
And I'm not going to mom people, but I am protective in that way.
Yeah.
I feel very
first time home buyers. You know,
I feel very
no
protective of my clients.
Whatever, but it's overwhelming.
It is.
It is overwhelming.
And you don't know. I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah, and so have somebody to ask questions. It makes a big difference.
I tell people, I said, ask me questions. I said, if you have a question, shoot me a text, call me, because the more educated you are, the more comfortable you're going to be. My job is to make it as stress-free as possible. You're not going to get away with buying a home without stress.
No.
I mean, it's the biggest investment of your life.
It took 2 years of my life. But.
Yeah. But
I always refer my people to you.
I know. I love it. I appreciate it.
Well, we're wrapping this up, but just last question that hit me is, do most realtors get along?
I would say most. I do.
Is it a competitive
she goes,
That's some tigers.
I was just curious. I mean, I don't know. It's a pretty competitive market.
But. Most people get along.
Is there ones you just can't stand? Let me know who they are right now.
We develop relationships, and then we also figure out who we would rather not work with. Mm-hmm. But I'll be honest with you, there's somebody that, isn't my favorite person, and we had a perfectly fine transaction together because it's about being professional.
I'll say, set that aside. Do your closing, and then
I'll never say who it is, but one time you told me there's a realtor in town that treats women realtors like crap, and I remember you telling me that one time.
Yeah,
talk down to you and everything else, but you're a pretty strong person. I'm surprised you didn't slap the crap out of me.
And I know who you're talking about.
That would not be professional.
And that was the interesting thing about that. That was probably in my first 6 months.
They probably thought they was going to bully you.
And that person thought they were going to bully me. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't know I was from the South End.
I was waiting on that one.
But they should have known where I was from, because I think that person was at some point. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people think that I'm just nice. And I like to be nice. I love being nice. I would rather be nice.
Yeah, but don't push me there.
When it comes to protecting my clients or even myself, I don't take it.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, buying or selling.
Buying or selling.
Call Monica.
Monica at realestategoto.
At realestategoto.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, even if it's not a yes right now. I mean, I've got people we can work with and get you there, because home ownership is just so important.
Home ownership can change your life. Reach out to Monica. Or if you know a realtor, prefer you work with somebody we know, obviously, but it can change your life, good or bad, but usually for the good. So get out there, buy a home, and thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you all so much. It's so good to sit and chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you all.
Bye.